Hi everyone. So my UDL is based off of the 5th grade ELA, and we will be reading Charlotte's Web, or a chapter of Charlotte's Web. We're going to start off with a hook, and this is where we are going to get the students interested in the story and excited about what they're going to be reading. So we're going to start off with asking students to connect to prior knowledge. Do they know anything about Charlotte's Web? Have they seen Charlotte's Web? And then if they haven't, we're just going to ask them to make their best guess. Then we're going to watch a clip of the trailer, and I want students to discuss with their partner that's next to them what they believe the story is going to be about. Then I'll give them a pictorial input chart to go over the elements of setting within the book with key academic vocabulary. The teacher will use corresponding images with the vocabulary to help students understand. Teacher shares an anchor chart or a cognitive content dictionary, including the key elements and academic vocabulary of plot. Then we're going to move into the direct instruction. So students in a whole group setting will be read the first chapter, and the teacher will model thinking aloud. Students will be given an opportunity to think aloud with a partner sitting close to them. Then we'll introduce a graphic organizers with examples. So for teacher direction, teacher will use direct instruction to explain the key elements of plot and setting in a presentation style. So we're going to make it very visual. Teacher will do a read aloud of chapter 1 of the book, and then model and do a think aloud to show how to identify elements of setting and plot from within the text. So we'll use the graphic organizers to identify the elements of plot in chapter 1. Next is the guided practice. Students will discuss with a partner what key elements they have identified, and students will be called randomly to write one key element on a sheet displayed with a document camera. So the teacher will use the document camera to display the graphic organizer. Then the teacher will use stick names to call on students to come up and place different key elements of plot and setting. So they're going to already have came up with different elements of plot and setting, and they're going to add themselves. Next is the independent practice. So the teacher will hand out a separate graphic organizer and a content dictionary, and the students will continue to work independently on their graphic organizer on their own. So before, I would have given them examples and shown them what to do, and that's when they added what they thought it would be. And now that we know, or that they know, and they've seen the different elements, they're going to do it on their own. And so once they're done, they'll start to fill in their cognitive content dictionary to help them learn new vocabulary words using critical thinking. Teacher will have students to continue working on the graphic organizers, and they're going to make the connection between prior knowledge and what they're learning. The teacher will check for understanding by walking around viewing worksheets being completed. So for the actual check for understanding parts, students will be asked to share some of the key elements of plot and setting they came up with on their own. And this will all be voluntary. We're not going to use the name sticks this time. Because the teacher has already walked around and checked to see how they're doing on their papers. And in order for us to meet the needs of our focus students, I've added a lot of visual aids in this lesson. There are a lot of breaks in between to check and to discuss what we're reading and just go over what has happened in that part. And then I'll also have an instructional aid in there too that will be monitoring those focus students to make sure that they're following along, they're grasping the concepts, and all of that stuff. And then if we notice that they are needing a little more one-on-one, then we can make that happen later on.